Welcome to Comicstorian, and today we're going to be covering how the Red Hulk was first introduced in Hulk Volume 1, Red Hulk from 2008. Here at Comicstorian, I take some of your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites. I turn them into a synopsis, cutting out a lot of the fluff, giving you the bare bones storyline, which allows you to go and add this to your collection if you choose to. Now today we're going to be bringing you a storyline that was first introduced to our Patreons over at patreon.com/Comicstorian. Hulk Volume 1 Red Hulk, which came out in 2008 and was written by Jeff Loeb. Red Hulk is a character that's now been around for just under 15 years and is a fan favorite. But where did he begin? Well, it all started with a mystery of who is Red Hulk, and that's the story we're going to bring you today. Now don't forget, we bring you these kinds of videos on a regular basis, so hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join our little family here at Comicstorian. Now, let's get into Hulk Volume 1. Doc Samson leans down, placing his hand in the massive footprint. There were no witnesses, at least none that survived. But these tracks tell the story pretty clearly in graphic detail. He explains to the small Russian village. Our man landed here, he says, indicating the footprint, and he looks over at She-Hulk, asking if she'll stand nearby to play the villain. Why? I can play the villain and you can play the victim, Jennifer says to him, but he continues on explaining that the attacker came in fast and ruined his sense of surprise. The Abomination tried to fight back, but the Hulk easily blocked the blow. At this point, he didn't let up. It was more than a beating, it was a punishment. Their battle shook the earth, leveling the nearby village, Samson tells her, but he explains that when the Abomination finally went down, the Hulk did something unexpected. He pulled out a gun and shot the Abomination several times. Thunderbolt Ross and Maria Hill look at him. That doesn't make any sense, Leonard. Even for you. Skipping past the fact that he already had defeated the Abomination. Since when does the Hulk use a gun? Ross questions. Adding on to the fact, where would he find a gun big enough for his hand? And Maria looks at the general, pointing out that they have weapons that fit that description in the S.H.I.E.L.D. armory. Iron Man nods, ordering Hill to get him an inventory of all of the weapons on the Helicarrier. What's that stuff that looks like glass? She-Hulk asks as she motions to the shiny footprint in the dirt, and Samson nods, explaining that their Hulk is giving off so much gamma radiation that he literally scorched the earth where he stood. Finally, Samson rubs his head, telling him that they need to exhume Abomination's remains. Suddenly a voice calls out, "We cannot allow that to happen." The group turns to see the Winter Guard standing before them. Emil Blonsky was a Russian citizen. "We will solve his murder and submit our findings to you," Red Guardian tells them defiantly. "Which means it's time for you to go," Ursa Major growls. Samson looks at them with disdain. "Don't feed me your nationalist crap. The Abomination was a blight on the Russian people. We were doing you a favor by cleaning up your mess," he tells them, and he steps up to the Red Guardian, explaining to the soldier that they are dealing with a Hulk and the Winter Guard is lucky that only one village was destroyed. "We were under the impression that the Hulk was dead," Ursa Major notes as he squares up to She-Hulk. "You want to take a step back, Grizzly Adams?" she tells him. And Samson becomes angry as Red Guardian squares off with him, slamming him in the face, ordering him to back off. "Oi!" Maria Hill sighs. Red Guardian quickly recovers, pulling his shield and uppercutting Samson in the face. "This is very stupid, even for an American," he says, and She-Hulk turns to fight, but Ursa Major slashes her across the shoulder while she wasn't looking. The Green Woman looks at her blood in shock. "You cut me? You're gonna make someone a great rug," she snaps as she punches the bear in the face. Red Dynamo launches his own attack at Iron Man, but Stark isn't phased, hitting the armored soldier with a blast. The fight continues for a moment before everyone pauses as Ross fires his service pistol into the air. After getting everyone's attention, he motions to a young girl standing amongst the rubble. "I have found a survivor," he tells them. The girl begins to babble in Russian as Tony approaches her. She's saying red, Dark Star explains to them. Meanwhile, Rick Jones suddenly awakens on the Alaskan frontier, pulling himself out of the snow and heading to a large cloud of smoke in the distance. As he crests the hill, he looks down in shock at the destruction below him. "Rick Jones, what have you gotten yourself into this time?" he whispers to himself. Meanwhile, over in the Nevada desert, Doc Samson and General Ross enter a hidden base. Putting up all of their security measures, they move through the base until they finally reach the prison cell buried deep beneath the earth. And the door opens to reveal Bruce Banner in his cell. "Ross, Samson, I was wondering when you were going to ask for my help," Bruce says to them. Meanwhile, aboard the new S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier that was commissioned by the appointed director, Tony Stark, Maria Hill enters his office carrying a large golden pistol. "What did you find?" Stark asks her, and she holds up the weapon for him to see. This is the weapon that killed Emil Blonsky, not the actual gun. That's gone undiscovered for now, but this is the same caliber, barrel registration, and it was stolen from right here. The armory inside of the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier. She explains to him. Tony takes the weapons as She-Hulk questions about the records from the S.H.I.E.L.D. armory. But she is interrupted as a giant red arm rips through the wall, yanking She-Hulk out of the room. "The freaking Hulk is here!" she shouts as she disappears through the hole in the wall. The guards rush to the hole in the wall as the sound of a battle continues to echo throughout the chambers. Sounds like she's not going down without a fight, noting that the carrier seems to be dipping to the side. Stark turns, activating his carrier widecom frequency. "This is Director Stark. We have an enemy presence on board. I want this place on lockdown. And get control of the stabilizing system. We're supposed to be able to glide through gale force winds, and I'm not gonna let the Hulk capsize us," he tells the crew. Suddenly, the wall explodes inward as She-Hulk is thrown through it. Hill and Stark both look down at the green woman with concern in their eyes. "Commander Hill, get to safety, or get some armor on!" he shouts to her, and he orders Hill to get Jennifer to medical before activating his comm again and ordering the soldiers to find Doc Samson and General Ross and protect them. Iron Man gets a call from the Quartermain on level 5, and he goes to see what is happening. As he finds him with the wounded General Ross, Ross refuses to leave the fight. "I've been hunting the Hulk longer than any of you. Red, green, or blue, no reason to stop now," he tells them as he raises his weapon, and Iron Man nods as he heads into the darkness of the tunnels. His light suddenly shining on the Red Hulk as the beast roars from the shadows, rushing at him. The monster hits him hard, and the two go flying through one of the walls. Tony hits the ground in a roll, ordering Quartermain to evacuate the area as he hits the Red Hulk with a pulse blast. "Fall, you red bastard!" he snaps, but the Red Hulk growls, shrugging off the blast. Picking up a large piece of machinery, he throws it at Tony, sending them both flying to the floor. "An animal doesn't need a gun," Tony grunts as he tries to push the metal off of him. He hits the boosters flying from underneath the machine, rocketing back up into the next room. "It also doesn't systematically pick off its enemies, and it sure as hell doesn't wreck my helicarrier," he shouts to himself, rocketing to the flight deck, ordering every available pilot to get to the deck and get all aircraft off of the carrier. "Initiate Iron Men protocol. Every shellhead in the armory reports." But he turns too slowly as the Red Hulk approaches from behind, slamming a jet fighter into Iron Man, and then leaps away with a growl. The entire carrier begins to capsize, falling out of the sky towards the Earth, jets beginning to tip and fall away, but the automated Iron Man suits begin to race around, catching everything as it falls. But that's when Tony himself begins to fall out of the sky. His jet boots are rebooting. Luckily, She-Hulk is there to catch him, grabbing him by the arm. And as she pulls him up, he thanks her, but she explains that this wasn't a random attack. While he was here, all of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s files on the Hulk were wiped. Also, your S.H.I.E.L.D. carrier is going to crash into New York and kill an awful lot of people, She-Hulk explains to him. Below them, New York begins to come up fast. Also, he spoke to me. Tony is shocked. "He did? He only growled at me. He said he could kill me anytime that he wanted, and you know what? I believed him," she tells him. Tony rockets away as his jet boots reboot. He joins the rest of the automated armor as they try to slow the descent of the helicarrier, pushing it off course. Changing course, heading for New Jersey, he orders the suits, and they manage to push it clear, but the carrier crumples and explodes as it slams into the Earth. Meanwhile, Rick Jones steps out of the big rig outside of the Gamma base in Nevada. Despite the driver's warnings, he begins to walk down the lonely highway. "Thought you were dead," a voice says to him from behind. "You thought wrong. What a shock," Rick says, turning to see the Red Hulk without any surprise. "I don't like being wrong. You should know that. You're just gonna have to stay dead," Red Hulk says as he reaches out, gently slapping Rick, sending him into the ground. "Don't. It's bad." Rick gasps as the anger overwhelms him and he begins to shift and change, his clothes ripping as his skin grows blue. And he stands tall as A-Bomb. "Red Man killed Old Abomination! Now A-Bomb's gonna kill Red Man!" the monster snarls. Meanwhile, in New Jersey, Tony Stark is walking through the destruction that was the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier as the damage reports continue to flood into his armor. "I'm going after him," Jennifer says as she steps up to Tony. Her pants and shoes are torn from falling out of the sky. "You sure that's wise? Red Hulk just handed us our heads and trashed about $8 billion worth of a helicarrier. Just try and stop me, Jennifer snaps, and Maria Hill steps up to the director, informing him that the crew is all accounted for except for Clay Quartermain, Doc Samson, and General Ross. Find them, now! Tony snaps at her, and she nods, but informs him that he should have a look at the security footage from Gamma Base a few days ago. An image shows up showing Doc Samson and General Ross standing outside of Bruce's prison, explaining the situation. There's a very real possibility that there are two Hulks running around, Samson explained. Bruce nods and thinks about it. The Hulk and I have been separated before. How do you know this other Hulk isn't another manifestation of my psyche? We don't, Ross explains before telling Banner that he needs him to go over the files from Russia. Who killed the Abomination? If this was a new Hulk, why? What's with the radiation, and why does he use a gun? Ross says, listing off the questions that they need answered. Bruce nods and asks to see the files, and as they're about to leave, he calls Ross back. But Ross stands in front of the camera, and Bruce's words suddenly become muffled. Tony pauses the recording, asking the computer to replay that portion. What the hell was that? I want someone to tell me what Banner said to Ross, Tony shouts to Hill. She nods, explaining that they don't have anyone capable of hearing what he says. Then find someone who is, Tony shouts to her. Meanwhile, off in the desert, Red Hulk is slamming into A-Bomb as the blue monster tries to punch him. A-Bomb kill Red Man! He shouts. That's all you got, Rick? Red Hulk asks, but A-Bomb twists, punching Red Hulk through the air. As the Red Hulk slams into the ground in front of the security gate, the scanner reaches out to confirm his identity, and there is a ding at the gate. But before it can say anything, he crushes it in a single blow. Now A-Bomb smash Red Man! A-Bomb shouts as he leaps through the air. That's not gonna happen, Rick! The Red Hulk sneers, and the two continue to fight through the base, activating the security systems that open fire on them, bullets bouncing off of Red Hulk's tough skin. Just what I was looking for, he says as he stalks forward, ripping it out of the ground. I've killed one Abomination, time to make it two, he says with a smile as he opens fire on A-Bomb, the rounds beating against him, driving him back. Though they don't seem to wound him, they do weaken him enough for the monster to collapse. Red Hulk moves forward, his weapon empty. Bulletproof skin. Seems you're more armadillo than man, he notes, but A-Bomb's fist comes up, punching Red Hulk hard in the chin. Red Man tries to kill A-Bomb, but A-Bomb can't be hurt! The monster shouts as they leap at each other. They trade blows back and forth, fists slamming against indestructible skin. Finally, Red Hulk slams A-Bomb hard in the head with a hammer blow, slamming his fist into A-Bomb over and over again, explaining to the monster what it felt like to kill the Abomination. With each blow, the ground cracks around them. The earth trembles, buildings begin to fall behind them. And deep below the earth, Bruce's prison shakes. What the hell is going on? Let me out! He shouts as things begin to topple around him. He reaches out to touch the walls of his prison, and gas begins to seep into the room as a security measure. As he coughs, he holds his breath, slamming his fist against the glass of his cell, each punch making him angrier. The next blow is a large green fist, and the glass begins to crack. Meanwhile, up on the surface, A-Bomb has managed to struggle to his feet as the two continue to fight. More security measures being activated, and a hangar door sliding open to reveal 3 harpies, all designed to look like Betty Ross. Huh, cute, Red Hulk laughs. Why birds at Betty's face? A-Bomb snarls, and the massive harpies reach out, gripping both monsters in their talons, each lifting one into the air. And as one carries A-Bomb high into the air, the blue monster becomes angry, ripping off the harpy's talon, slashing it into the robot's body, forcing it to plunge back to Earth. Red Hulk, meanwhile, twists and fights off 2 of the monsters, punching them until they back off, until he beats them into the ground, pummeling them into destruction. There's nothing that anyone can come up with that could stop me, he snarls as he continues to beat the robots. That's when behind him, a green arm pulls itself out of the massive hole that the monsters have created. All right, Rick, let's finish this, Red Hulk says with a smile as he steps forward. But he's greeted by the true Hulk. Hulk, not Rick! Hulk is Hulk! Hulk bellows and Red Hulk smiles. Banner, I'm gonna love this. The eyes of the Watcher turn to the events of Gamma Base, and he looks to the readers, explaining, I am the Watcher, chronicling the events of Earth, but never interfering. Hey, shut the heck up! Red Hulk grins as he punches Uatu hard in the face, the Watcher hitting the ground, his eyes rolling into the back of his head. Not done yet? I'm gonna keep you quiet for a long time. Red Hulk smiles as he steps up to deliver another blow to Uatu's head. But as his fists rear back, it's stopped by the Hulk. Red Hulk, stop hitting Big Bald Man! Hulk snarls, but Red Hulk turns back to him and the destruction of Gamma Base all around them. Hulk, I almost forgot you were here, he says, turning his fiery stare back to the green monster. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Red Hulk thinks that he can beat Hulk. Hulk is the strongest that there is! Hulk bellows as the two clash once more. Red Hulk throwing Hulk to the ground and standing over him. You might be the strongest that there is, but those days are short. Red Hulk tells him, grabbing his massive hands around the Hulk's throat, choking the very life out of him, telling him that he'll end years of the Hulk ruining people's lives. Hulk just gets mad. Red Hulk knows nothing of Hulk. All Hulk wants is to be left alone! Hulk bellows as he slams his fist into Red Hulk, throwing him away. The Hulks attack each other, trading blows back and forth as Red Hulk continues to insult Hulk and call him a monster. But the Hulk keeps getting madder and madder, stronger and stronger, landing blow after blow until finally Red Hulk catches his fist. I've heard all about your strength. I'm sure it's very intimidating to all of your enemies, but you've never had a friend like me. Red Hulk says as he twists the Hulk around, trapping his arm behind his back, locking his throat at the same time. Let go of Hulk! Hulk says as he struggles, but Red Hulk's eyes begin to glow as he gets stronger, explaining to Hulk that he has defeated everyone, and that he could kill them all at any time. Any time that I wanted, starting with you. He snarls as he wrenches the Hulk's arm and snaps it. He tightens his grip around the Hulk's throat and the monster begins to grow weary, his vision getting blurry and beginning to blacken. Don't pass out on me yet. I'm not interested in Milksop Banner. I want the Hulk. Red Hulk sneers. Meanwhile, Iron Man and the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. have tracked down the gamma radiation of the Red Hulk to a meat warehouse 50 miles from where the Helicarrier crashed. It is there that they find the body of Clay Quartermain, and during this investigation, Maria Hill walks up with a radiation-soaked coat. She looks at Iron Man grimly. The coat belonged to Leonard Samson. The Hulk finally comes around, rain pouring from the sky as he looks up at the sneering face of Red Hulk. The monster looks down at him, explaining that he had to keep shaking him to stop him from becoming a Banner again. Nobody would care if I blew Banner's brains out. You, on the other hand, they might just give me a medal for doing this, if I even cared for that sort of thing. I want the world to see that it was I who killed you, Hulk. He snaps as he aims the golden gun at Hulk's head. Far below them, cars continue driving back and forth along the Golden Gate Bridge. No! Hulk bellows as he rears up, biting the barrel of Red Hulk's gun, crushing it between his teeth. Lightning cracks around them as Hulk pushes to his feet, punching Red Hulk. They trade blows again, with Hulk plummeting over the edge, taking out several support beams on the bridge as he falls. I played out this scenario in my head with 1,000 different endings. It doesn't matter as long as I win. New strategy. I let you live knowing you aren't the strongest that there is. There's a new Hulk in town and his color is red. Red Hulk laughs as he watches the Hulk trip and fall. There's no one that can beat me. Red Hulk roars into the storm as it cracks into the night sky. But then, the storm answers him. No one? I think it's not a beast, Thor tells him, floating in the sky as the storm rages around them. Tonight you will fall to my hammer. So says the mighty Thor. The lightning cracks behind him as Red Hulk turns to glare at the god. Thor, I heard you were dead. I heard you were green, monster. He leaps across the gap, bringing Mjolnir hard on the Red Hulk's chest. It doesn't matter, since by morning's light thou shalt be dead. As the smoke clears, Thor looks up to see the Red Hulk is unaffected. Yeah, about that. You're welcome to give it a whirl, but it's gonna be a long night. Red Hulk grins at him and Thor is stunned. What kind of beast are you that you do not fall to Mjolnir? He whispers to himself and Red Hulk bellows, launching himself at the Thunder God. The kind that beats the snot out of Thunder Gods! He roars, blows raining down on Thor, staggering the god. Red Hulk rears back, uppercutting him, sending him flying into the nearby lighthouse. Did I mention that I don't believe in gods? He asks as he leaps the distance, landing amongst the rubble. I guess killing a god isn't as hard as they make you think it is. And the rubble shifts as Thor pulls himself free. I have been held by Hela's embrace, known her touch. I also know the fates, and I was brought here to teach you defeat! He thunders as once again he lashes out with his hammer. The blow to Red Hulk's stomach, doubling him over. Thor whirls back, cracking the hammer against the side of the monster's head. Your very presence threatens Midgard, this world that I have sworn to protect, and her people. By Odin's hand, your threat and terror reign ends with me! He shouts as he prepares to bring the hammer down again, but Red Hulk reaches out, catching it. You missed that I'm not the other one, the green one. So whatever battle plan you came with, forget it! He says, standing, leaping into the air, carrying both Thor and the hammer into space. I've studied you, Thor! I don't mind telling you that your battle skills are legendary, but there is always a battle where one man falls and the other doesn't. He says as they sail through the air, Thor shocked, not believing that the Red Hulk can lift his hammer. I know all about your secret, how no one can lift your hammer. Cute trick, unless all I'm doing is jumping while you're holding on tight. Or unless we're in zero gravity. He says as they reach space. He twirls the hammer, ripping it out of Thor's grasp, cracking him in the jaw with it. Gotta hold my breath now. Gotta run silent. He whispers as he takes a deep breath, and the Red Hulk swings the hammer again and again, hitting Thor several times until the Thunder God is unconscious. He then throws him down onto the moon, smiling as he stands over the Thunder God, kicking him one more time before leaping back to Earth. It doesn't take long for the Thunder God to stir, anger blazing in his eyes. Hulk, to leave me alive, has ensured my vengeful wrath, he growls in the darkness of space. Meanwhile, Iron Man is standing in the Baxter building, hoping that Reed can tell him what Banner said to Ross. Ben Grimm stands nearby, complaining that they are taking up the TV while he's trying to watch the Mets. So they finally get the recording playing, and Reed is fascinated that someone was able to doctor the audio in the video, but he manages to fix it just a little, and one word can be heard. Samson. Suddenly, all the lights go out in the Baxter building. Stark! Your recording was carrying a Trojan horse that shut down the power grid, Reed explains in the darkness. Why do I get a feeling I'm not going to be able to watch the rest of my ball game? Ben grumbles. And as the emergency power comes back on, Maria Hill calls to Tony, explaining that they have tracked the Red Hulk signature, making Earthfall in Monument Valley, and she's calling in the military. Forget the military, I have a better idea, Stark tells her. Meanwhile, under the wreckage of the Golden Gate Bridge, the Hulk is trapped beneath the waters. But A-Bomb swims down, releasing him from the rubble, and the two monsters pull themselves out of the water, climbing up to the bridge. Why did Blue Man help Hulk? Green Monster questions. A-Bomb is Hulk's friend. Help Hulk fight Red Hulk. City fell down. Earthquakes everywhere. Red Hulk's fault. Blue Monster explains. Hulk looks at him. A-Bomb stay. Help the city. Hulk go after Red Hulk, he tells his new friend, but a voice calls out and interrupts him. Hulk, you're gonna need some help. And I brought them. Tony tells him. Standing amongst him is She-Hulk, Ares, Ben Grimm, the Human Torch, and Submariner. Hulk looks at them all, distrust in his eyes. Hulk, whatever differences we've had in the past, we need to forget them. I've brought help. I've brought friends, Tony says to him, but the monster shakes his head. Robot, Hulk need no new friends. A-Bomb is Hulk's friend, he tells them, and the others try to reason with Hulk, explaining that his fight with Red Hulk has triggered the San Andreas fault and the city is falling into the ocean. Hulk not Earth City! Red Hulk did it! He shouts angrily, but Ares looks at him, telling the Green Monster that he should be grateful that they have agreed to help. Ares, you're only going to make a bad situation worse, Namor tells him. Broomhead need to shut up, or Hulk will make you shut up! And Ares pulls out his axe. No one calls me Broomhead and lives to tell about it, he bellows as he rushes at the Hulk. Broomhead! The monster taunts. Oh boy, here we go. Human Torch sighs, but all the heroes begin to try and pull Ares away before another fight can start. Tony stops, explaining to Hulk that they came to help the city and to help stop the Red Hulk. Iron Man hate Red Hulk? Hulk hate Red Hulk too. Hulk listen. Hulk tells him, and She-Hulk steps up to her cousin, telling him that they think Red Hulk is Doc Samson. But Hulk just becomes angry, stating that he doesn't care as he leaps away. Red Hulk is Red Hulk! Hulk smash Red Hulk! He bellows, and A-Bomb leaps after his friend as the other heroes go to work trying to save the people of San Francisco. Meanwhile, over in Monument Valley, the Red Hulk pulls his way free of the crater that he created. Incredible. Not only did I beat the tar out of Thor, I actually jumped from the moon and survived. He says to himself as he pulls himself up. He looks up to see the Hulk standing over him. You again? Back for more? He asks, but his grin disappears as the Hulk reaches down, picking him up by his throat. Hulk not back for more. Hulk is here to finish Red Hulk! The Hulk snarls, but Red Hulk pushes off of Hulk, explaining to the green monster that finding him was a mistake. But the two begin to trade blows again. Red Hulk hurt Hulk. Hulk was not ready for Red Hulk. Now Hulk is ready. Hulk hurt you bad. Hulk growls as he punches the Red Hulk again and again, shrugging off the blows though. Red Hulk showers it back on him. The Red Hulk then twists out of the way, bringing his fist together on the Hulk's head. Instead of just watching you take the pain, I'll kill you quickly. You should thank me for that. Red Hulk tells him, but that's when Mjolnir slams into the Red Hulk as he's about to land a powerful blow, knocking him away. It is not your task to lay claim to Hela's subjects, any more so than yours to speak of victory in the battle with the mighty Thor, the Asgardian shouts as his hammer returns to him. He then beats Red Hulk again and again with Mjolnir, staggering the monster. Never again will you touch Mjolnir, except to feel its sting and fall to its power, Thor tells him. Meanwhile, Hulk is staggering to his feet, looking up to see A-Bomb. Blonde hair cannot defeat Red Hulk. Only Hulk can defeat Red Hulk. Hulk tells his friend as they watch Thor hitting Red Hulk with a blast of lightning. But Hulk! A-Bomb begins, and Hulk waves him off. The madder Hulk get, the stronger Hulk get, he growls, and A-Bomb nods, pointing to the molten sand at Hulk's feet. And the madder that Red Hulk gets, the harder that Red Hulk gets. Hulk finishes A-Bomb's sentence with a whisper. Thor raises himself up, floating in the cracks of lightning, calling from his storm. Creature, you thought you could stand against a god. By my hand, there shall be a reckoning, he thunders. But then Hulk leaps in, spearing Red Hulk, carrying him away. Bloodhair hurts Red Hulk. Now Red Hulk is mine to hurt. The Hulk bellows, but Thor is angered, preparing to wield Mjolnir against Hulk before A-Bomb stands in his way. Thor does not know A-Bomb, but A-Bomb knows Thor. Thor is God, Thor's greatest warrior. This is Hulk's fight. Hulk has to win for Hulk. Thor understand? A-Bomb asks him, and the Asgardian regards the monster for a moment before nodding. But if Hulk falls, the Red Hulk's blood will run from my hands. Thor says to him. In the distance, Hulk blocks another blow from Red Hulk. Incredible. I'm big enough to admit that Thor had me on the ropes, but in your stupidity, you may have spared my life. Red Hulk sneers as he continues to wail on the Hulk. That will always be your downfall. You will never understand what it takes to win a fight. The Red Hulk tells him as he hits him again, and the Hulk only blocking blows and taking hits. The radiation of the heat coming off of the Red Hulk is now flowing in waves. In the distance, Thor continues to watch with A-Bomb. He's killing the Hulk. If what you say is true, if you are his friend, let me enter the fray before it is too late. Thor tells the monster, but A-Bomb shakes his head. No! Hulk is getting stronger! Red Hulk continues to land the blows. Come on! Fight back! Is this how you want to go? A coward? A brainless, hopeless Hulk? His eyes glowing with heat as it escapes his body, but weariness suddenly begins to overtake him as he feels the heat. So hot! He whispers, and he swings at Hulk again, but the monster dodges the blow, letting the fist slam into the rock. What did you do to me? Red Hulk gasps. Red Hulk think Hulk is stupid. Red Hulk hurts everyone. Red Hulk likes to kill. Red Hulk is bad. Hulk growls at him and he rears back, punching the Red Hulk hard enough to throw him through the air. Great Hulk stops Red Hulk here! He roars, but the Red Hulk hits the ground hard enough to crack the earth, this time not getting up. There's only one Hulk, and he is green! Hulk roars over his fallen enemy. Thor steps up to Hulk, telling him that he is someone that Thor would be proud to call a friend. Thor wants to be Hulk's friend? Thor nods and the two shake hands. In a word, yes. Thor tells him with a smile, and with that, the Thunder God leaps into the air, flying away in a crack of thunder. A-Bomb looks at the Hulk as he begins to walk away in the desert. Is Hulk still A-Bomb's friend? He asks. Yes, Rick will always be Hulk's friend. Hulk tired. Hulk whispers, and as Hulk disappears into the distance, A-Bomb reverts to Rick Jones once again. Rick calling out to his friend. Bruce, you need to know the truth. The Red Hulk is... He begins to shout, but a blast of energy hits him from behind, dropping him to the ground. Doc Samson stands there, taser in his hand. Oh, you can't be telling secrets, Rick. It's not your future. It's not your destiny. We're gonna have to fix that," Samson says as he begins to drag the young man away, but he stops, turning back to the body of the fallen Red Hulk. "And you, we gave you everything you needed to destroy the green monster," Samson says to the Red Hulk. "Still, you failed. You failed us, and worse, you failed yourself," General Ross says as he looks down at the Red Hulk, and then he turns and begins to walk away. "You're on your own now," he says as he leaves the Red Hulk, fallen and alone. And there you have it. That is the entirety of Hulk Volume 1, which will now lead into Hulk Volume 2, Red and Green, where the mystery continues. If you're one of our Patreons watching this early, thank you so much for your continued support. And if you're watching this over at the YouTube channel, Comicstorian, if you enjoyed this, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and you stick around just a little bit longer. We'll greatly appreciate you joining us right here. On that note, I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you have a wonderful day.